but we are not prepared to have another Gaza in the West Bank. The Middle East, as you all know, is a fragile region. The last thing the Middle East needs is another instability. And the high expectations which was built by Mahmoud Abbas' bid at the UN might explode once they are not materialized on the ground. Result of such an explosion could be more violence and more instability in a region which is already so fragile and in a storm and in transition period. Now, I'm sure that no one in our distinguished audience wants me to confuse you with facts. I also do not think that the world needs to be reminded of the historic connections of the Jewish people to the land of Israel. However, and still, let me illuminate few facts. The first fact is Resolution 181 of November 47, which is known as the Partition Resolution. The Partition Resolution called for the establishment of two states, an Arab state and a Jewish state. At the same time, it declared that most of the north part of Israel, along with portions of the south of Israel, will be given to the Arabs. Israel was giving something like a peanut. However, the resolution excluded Jerusalem from both sides, and it declared that Jerusalem should be internationalized. Israel accepted the resolution right away. Palestinians and the Arab countries, all of them, rejected the resolution. A year later, in 1948, right after Israel was established, 6 Arab countries attacked Israel and waged war on Israel. And at that war, you should be reminded, or everybody should be reminded, the Palestinian refugee issue was created. Unlike Mahmoud Abbas in his speech at the UN, who just referred to the disaster caused to the Palestinians by Israel, but neglected to explain how it came to be, the same like he neglected to mention that Arab countries for the last 65 years made the issue of the refugee an eternal problem. They paid a lip service for the Palestinian cause, and in general, the Palestinian cause became the lowest common denominator on which all Arabs could agree. So this is one thing that I wanted really to clear and make sure. Some 50 years later, 2 other proposals were put forward to the Palestinians by 2 prime ministers of Israel. One, Prime Minister Barak, mentioned by Dr. Weiss, and the last one in September 2008 by former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert, who proposed an historic plan to Mahmoud Abbas, which was supposed to put an end to the conflict. His plan was about submitting more than 75% of land to the Palestinians, also division of Jerusalem into Jewish quarters and Arab quarters, and declaring the old city of Jerusalem as internationalized status. So this was the offer. However, Mahmoud Abbas did not sign the agreement. I'm coming to the end. And this offer was put on the shelves of history and unfortunately was not entertained again. But no one before Prime Minister Olmert put such a generous proposal, and yet the Palestinians rejected it. To conclude, a UN resolution will not create a state, but will create immense difficulties on any negotiations in the future. It will not solve the core issues which stand between Israel and the Palestinians, and in order to establish a state, peace agreement has to be worked out between the 2 parties, and then Israel will be among the first countries to recognize a Palestinian state. Thank you.